Greetings, family, and welcome to Monty'man's editorial video style here at Take12radio.com on your internet dial. I would like to read to you a poem that I received here not long ago and then interject some thoughts at the end. This poem is called, Am I a Fireman Yet? In Phoenix, Arizona, a 26-year-old mother stared down at her 6-year-old son, who was dying of terminal leukemia. Although her heart was filled with sadness, she also had a strong feeling of determination. And like any parent, she wanted her son to grow up and fulfill all of his dreams. Now, that was no longer possible. The leukemia would see to that, but she still wanted her son's dream to come true. She took her son's hand and asked Billy, "Did you ever think what you wanted to be once you grew up? Did you ever dream and wish what you would do with your life?" "Well, Mommy, I always wanted to be a fireman when I grew up." Mom smiled back and said, "Well, let's see if we can't make your wish come true." And later that day, she went to her local fire department in Phoenix, Arizona, where she met Fireman Bob, who had a heart as big as Phoenix. She explained her son's final wish and asked if it may be possible to give her 6-year-old son a ride around the block on a fire engine. Fireman Bob said, "Look, we can do better than that. If you'll have your son ready at 7 o'clock Wednesday morning, we'll make him an honorary fireman for the whole day. He can come down to the fire station and eat with us, go out on all the fire calls, the whole 9 yards. And if he'll give us his sizes, we'll get a real fire uniform for him with a real fire hat, not a toy, one with the emblem of the Phoenix Fire Department on it, a yellow slicker like we wear, and rubber boots. They're all manufactured here in Phoenix, so we can get them pretty fast." Well, 3 days later, Fireman Bob picked up Billy, dressed him in his uniform, and escorted him from his hospital bed to the waiting hook and ladder truck. Billy got to sit on the back of the truck and help steer it back to the fire station. He was in heaven. There were 3 fire calls in Phoenix that day, and Billy got to go out on all 3. He rode in the different fire engines, the paramedics' van, and even the fire chief's car. He was also videotaped for the local news program. Having his dream come true, with all the love and attention that was lavished upon him, so deeply touched Billy that he lived 3 months longer than any doctor thought possible. But one night, all of his vital signs began to drop drastically. And the head nurse, who believed in the hospice concept that no one should die alone, began to call the family members into the hospital. Then she remembered the day Billy had spent as a fireman, so she called the fire chief and asked if it would be possible to send a fireman in uniform to the hospital to be with Billy as he made his transition. The chief replied, "We can do better than that. We'll be there in 5 minutes. And would you please do me a favor? When you hear the siren screaming and see the lights flashing, will you announce over the PA system that there is not a fire? It's the department coming to see one of its finest members one more time. And will you open the door to Billy's room?" Well, about 5 minutes later, a hook and ladder truck arrived at the hospital and extended its ladder up to Billy's 3rd-floor open window. 5 firefighters climbed up the ladder and into Billy's room. With his mother's permission, they hugged him and held him and told him how much they loved him. With his dying breath, Billy looked up at the fire chief and said, "Chief, am I really a fireman yet?" "Billy, you are, and the head chief, Jesus, is holding your hand," the chief said. With those words, Billy smiled and said, "I know. He's been holding my hand all day, and the angels have been singing." He closed his eyes one last time. Well, because of several wonderful and gracious people, Billy's dream came true. Are your dreams coming true? I ask you this because if it is true we only have today, we just may not have tomorrow. Folks, our dreams will never come true if we live as selfish, self-sufficient beings. We need each other. We need God. And we need the willingness to ask for help. Like the firemen of the Phoenix Fire Department, there are people in my life and in yours that are willing to help and encourage us throughout life. If we would but share our dreams with them. You know, we can learn much from Billy. We need to become as little children and believe that God is with us. If we will trust God and love people, it becomes easier to ask for help and guidance. Well, I have heard it said that we should live today as if it were our last, because we don't know, it might be. You know, we boast of living one day at a time, but do we really believe it? We know when our day will come? No. When we shall meet our Maker face to face? No. We need help to reach out to others and be willing to receive from our fellows that which we cannot reach on our own. So, let's be more like the unselfish firefighters of the Phoenix, Arizona Fire Department and be willing to meet people where they are with no expectations. To be willing, as Billy, to receive help from others so we can take part in this life as we prepare to live with God forever in the next. My friends, I hope this touched you as much as it did me, and I hope today you and I can be more willing to let others help us, as Billy let the fire department help him. Well, until our next meditorial, this is the Monty'man, and I am wishing God's perfect serenity for you.